Hello Happy Crocheters, this is Lindsay from windingroadcrochet.com, and today we are going to be learning the Tunisian knit stitch. This video is part of the Tunisian Crochet Course and it is lesson 3. So here we have the Tunisian knit stitch, and as you can tell it really does look like knit. It stretches a lot like knit, and if you flip it over it actually looks like purl on the back. So it's a really great way for crocheters to be able to get that knit look. So here's my sample swatch that I've worked up in Tunisian Simple Stitch, and moving on from here we are going to start working the knit stitch, which is going to be exactly the same as if you were working into the foundation row. If you remember when we did the Tunisian Simple Stitch in lesson 1, we just went in between the front and back vertical bars and out the front of our work, just like this. But for the Tunisian knit stitch, we are going to go through the front and back vertical bar and out the back of our work. So we're going into the second stitch, out the back of our work, we're going to yarn over and pull up our loop. Going into the next stitch in between the front and back vertical bar, out the back, yarn over. The way that I'm holding my yarn is I naturally yarn over, and then you pull your loop through the stitch. And you're just going to do this all the way down your row. What ends up happening is it turns that front and back vertical loop forward, making little V's on the front of our work. When you reach your last stitch, you're going to work that as usual. So you're going to go under both the back and the front vertical bar, yarn over and pull up a loop. And that last stitch on the side actually already looks like the knit stitch, so it's going to blend in really well. Now for our return pass, we are going to use a standard return pass. We're going to start with a chain 1. Don't forget to pinch that chain 1 if you're having issues with a tight chain on this side. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Yarn over again and pull through 2 loops. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And keep repeating this until you only have 1 loop left on the hook. When you reach the end of the row, we're just going to go ahead and repeat this row. So again, your first stitch is already on your hook, so we skip the first vertical bar, go into the second vertical bar in between the front and back vertical bars, go through the back of the work, yarn over, pull up a loop. Through both vertical bars, out the back, yarn over, and pull up a loop. And you'll simply repeat this process for every row that you want to do as the knit stitch. I'm just going to finish pulling up my loops and then we'll review the rest of this row. So when you get to that very last stitch, go under both the front and back vertical bar, yarn over and pull up a loop. You can see how we're starting to get the V's and that knit look. We will start our return pass with a chain 1, pinch your chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and keep repeating this until we only have 1 loop left on the hook. I'm just going to go ahead and work a few more rows of knit stitch, and then I'm going to show you how to fasten off. So I've worked about 5 rows of knit stitch, and now I'm going to bind off. I'm going to insert my hook into the next stitch and pull up a loop exactly how I would with a knit stitch. Then I'm going to pull that loop through the loop on my hook to make a slip stitch bind off. Go into the next stitch, pull up a loop exactly as we've done in previous rows, and pull through the loop on our hook. And we can continue doing this all the way across to create a slip stitch bind off. The important thing is that we continue pulling up our loops the way we did for the knit stitch, because that is going to keep our pattern looking the same all the way to the end. So you'll work your slip stitch bind off all the way to the edge of the project and fasten off. And that is how you make the Tunisian knit stitch. I hope you're enjoying the Tunisian Crochet Course, and we'll check out the next lesson where we will learn how to change colors. And as always, thank you so much for watching.